What's up, guys? Eric Bray, Focus Fishing Guide Service, Table Rock Fishing Intel. Got another video fishing report for you for Table Rock. It is Wednesday, May the 27th. Been on the water pretty much every day. Had trout trip yesterday, didn't get a chance to shoot this then, and then again left the camera at home today because I'm not used to carrying it in the truck on Wednesday, so we're shooting it in the garage this afternoon. Bites changing, things are changing, water's warming up, a lot of water moving through the lake. As far as our lake level is concerned, we are at 918.4 as of today. Corey is moving a lot of water. They got gates open again. They got a beaver trying to drain it down. It's about 7 feet high. Bull shoals, sorry guys, you're 21 feet high and still rising because they're trying to get the water out of beaver, get the excess water out of Table Rock, and it's all winding up down in Bull. So you guys have another flooded spring, which sucks. As far as water temperature is concerned, it is warming up all over the lake. I'm seeing high 60s to low to mid 70s pretty much everywhere I go. Did see some mid 70s in some of the dirtier water up around the Kings River earlier this week. I really think that's got making the biggest changes on where the fish are. That and the current, of course, and the way it's moving the shad around. But definitely seeing some water temperatures coming up. The best way to stay on top of all of these changes, of course, is to become a pro member of Table Rock Fishing Intel. Get you the daily reports, weekly reports, all of our feature videos, access to all the maps. Really makes it easy for you to stay on top of the fish and catch more fish when you go to Table Rock. But if you're coming down, say you're going to fish the lower end of the lake, first thing you're going to want to have tied on is definitely a topwater. We're doing really well with the surge shad right now. That's probably the best bait all over the lake, not just down by the dam. Catching a few on a spook, catching a few on whopper plopper and a popper as well. But really, the surge shad's kind of been the best bait. I don't know how long that's going to hold on. The key to finding these topwater fish, though, is to fish it around cover, whether it's around trees or around boat docks, around brush piles. These fish are holding tight to cover, mainly because we've got a bit of a shad spawn going on, and the fish are keying on that. They're keying on the shad spawning around the docks or around the treetops or around some of the bushes and brush. So keep that in mind. Next bite's a swim bait, catching them really good on a Kitech 2.8, on a Jewel Gem Shad 2.0. Basically scrubbing it, not really catching them, suspended on it right now. Gravel points, if you've got wind, they'll be 8 to about 12 foot deep. If you don't have wind, you got to back out, and they'll be from 10 to about 15 or even 20 foot deep, but scrub that along the bottom to get bit. And then you can catch them on a Jack and Jaws puke tube or on a Jewel shaky head with whatever you like to put on a shaky head. And most of those fish are going to be out a little bit deeper, anywhere from about 8 to about 20 feet deep, just depending on the day, depending on cloud cover, depending on wind. Calm, slick, sunny day, they're going to be out deeper. Windy day, cloudy day, they're going to be up a little bit shallower. Go up into the mid-lake area around Kimberling City, same sort of deal. You definitely want to have a topwater tied on. Surge shad again has been #1 bait, but you can catch them on a spook, a plopper, or a popper as well. But they are, again, they're around cover. They're not out on the flats yet. Once we get this shad spawn over with, I'm pretty sure they'll start to move out on the flats and you'll start to see the big boils of fish. But right now, we're not really seeing a lot of fish busting. You're just catching them up there, chasing those shad. They're just spawning right now, either around the boat docks, around trees, around bushes, that sort of thing. If you see shad spawning, make sure you throw some sort of a topwater around it. Catching them on a Jewel Pro spider jig around boat docks. Again, they're hanging around boat docks because the shad are spawning and they're getting in the shade of the boat docks. So a spider jig's been good with a new VersaCraw trailer on it. Catching them on a shaky head as well, either the squirrel head or the Pro shaky head. I've been using a Senko type bait on it and doing really well with that. And catching them with a tube as well, the Jack and Jaws tube, out on those gravel points. Anywhere, again, just like it's not as clear in the mid-lake, but they'll be a little bit shallower. If it's windy or cloudy, they'll be a little bit deeper if it is sunny and calm. And then we are catching them on a swim bait there as well, scrubbing that swim bait along the bottom. Most of the fish, if it's cloudy, they'll be shallow, 8 to about 12. If it's sunny, they'll be out deeper, 10 to about 15, even as deep as 20 foot deep. Go up into the James River. First thing about the James is there is a lot of the dangerous type debris floating in the James right now. It's not the great big trees that you can see from a half-mile away. It is most of those 2 to about 6 foot logs that are right below the water surface. So if you're going up the James, it really starts around point 12 and goes all the way up to above Cape Fair. If you're going up the James, make sure you're careful, make sure you keep your eyes open, and maybe not run wide open throttle up there. I know Rick Lysick hit a couple of logs, luckily didn't do any damage, and Corey hit a couple of logs when he was up there earlier this week as well. Neither of them did any damage, but they were paying attention, not running wide open. Hit the logs with the boat, not with the motor. So keep that in mind if you're going up there. If you're fishing up there, really a good swim bait bite up there. Lysick had a great day up there. I guess it was Monday, scrubbing a Kitech 2.8 on a Gem Shad 2.0 along the bottom on gravel points. It was a little cloudy that day. They were catching them pretty shallow, anywhere from about 5 to about 18 foot deep. As the sun came up, they got deeper, but he was able to catch them for basically 6 solid hours scrubbing a swim bait on the bottom. So keep that in mind. I was up there, I caught him really good on a Jewel Pro spider jig around boat docks, actually pretty darn shallow, anywhere from about 3 foot deep out to about 8 foot deep. Just keying on the shade around boat docks really seemed to be the best spot to find them on that. And then Corey caught him on a shaky head up there, throwing the Jewel Pro shaky head with a Senko style bait on it and working gravel points anywhere from about 8 to about 15 foot deep. It's really where he was catching them. And of course the top water bites working up there as well. Surge shad, spook, whopper, flopper, popper, all those are working up there, but the surge shad is definitely the best, and the fish are definitely around cover. Up in the White River, again, we've got some debris in the White River. Most of it is from Shell Knob, and then all the way up the Kings, and then not quite to Big M up the White, but it's that dangerous type of debris. It's that 3 to 8 foot long logs that are just below the water surface. I was up there on Monday, bounced a couple logs off of the Camus, didn't do any damage, but you got to be careful if you're going up there. Keep your eyes open, maybe not run wide open throttle when you're running up there, because stuff you're not going to see till you're right on top of it. So keep that in mind if you're going up there. Top water bite's good up there. Surge shad, of course, spook, whopper plopper, and a popper, all are working. Again, they're around cover. Until the shad spawns over, these fish are going to be around the boat docks, around the treetops, and around the bushes, and around the brush piles, because they're keying on those shad that are spawning up there. So keep that in mind. Caught them on a swim bait up there as well. Kitech 2.8 on a Gem Shad 2.0. Again, scrubbing it, not catching these fish suspended. Most of them, it was kind of cloudy, so most of them were about 8 to about 12, but if it's sunny, you're going to need to back off and fish out a little bit deeper, all the way out to about 20 foot deep. You can catch them on a jig or a shaky head around the boat docks as well. Seems like the color line is about at Campbell Point, maybe a little bit, maybe to Big Creek. You've got good watercolor, and then it really clears up once you get below Big Creek. It's not super dirty, but it is stained, so it's keeping those fish a little bit shallower, anywhere from Shell Knob to about, well, let's say Big Creek. And those fish have been around the bushes early, but they back out to about 15 to 20 once the sun gets up. Caught them on a peewee football jig up there as well in about 15 foot of water. So keep that in mind too when you're going up there. There's a lot of fish to be caught up the White, a lot of fish to be caught all over the lake. You just got to make adjustments for the day and adjustments for the conditions. You know, if it's sunny, they're going to be deeper. If it's windy and cloudy, they're going to be shallower. Best way to know, best way to stay on top of that, again, join Table Rock Fishing Intel. Get all the information you need, know before you go. Helps you to catch more fish on Table Rock Lake. But if you're coming down, want to hire a guide, give me a call. It's Focus Fishing Guide Service. You can reach me at 417-860-4743. Hit my website, focusfishing.com. You can either shoot me an email or book online. Either way, I will get back to you as soon as I can. Guys, thanks for watching the videos. Take a minute to check out Table Rock Fishing Intel if you haven't done so. Thanks for watching. Can't wait to hear from you. We'll see you on the water.